Camp Chili Wawa. I don't know why the hell I remember that off the top of my head, but I do. So Pink Panther has to go around the world and make these kids happy. But I'm going to spoil this game no one's going to play. The end plot terrified me because it's revealed that this character called the Dog Father is replacing the kids with robots.
What?
And at one point, Pink Panther walks into this camp and just finds severed robot parts everywhere of like children.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to Idiot Block, a comedic podcast critiquing, discussing, and analyzing the media industry through reviews, debates, and historical deep dives.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Idiot Plot. Today, we're going to talk about video games we grew up with. Since no movies are coming out and there's not a lot of new media to talk about, we're gonna go back and kind of talk about the stuff we grew up with. This time, video games and all the nostalgia feelings. I'm sure there'll be some raging and some fighting. I'm David Yanis. Joining me today, as always, are my co-host Alex Overdahl.
I wish I had a quote for this besides just the GameCube intro.
and Justin Neitzel.
Watch those wrist rockets. God damn it! I fucked up my own intro.
he had a quote.
He did.
Yeah, I thought about doing the GameCube intro, but I knew I was gonna fuck it up. Like,
yeah, I know. Boom. Yeah, see, but I don't want to do that here.
But before we get into that, let's start off with another segment of what we watched. Kind of recap, because Alex, you've been gone for a couple weeks, so we'll kind of touch base with all of the nonsense we've been up to. I'll start us off. Now, the season isn't done yet, but I feel like there's enough released where I can talk about this. I've been watching weekly Disney Plus's Monsters at Work. For those that don't know, it is the Monsters Inc. sequel series that's on Disney Plus right now. It's about Mike and Sully right after the movie. They're transitioning from fear power to laugh power, and there's a big crisis, and Mike and Sully basically become heads of Monsters Inc., and they have to run the company. That's the whole plot of the show, is they have to run their company. Now, if you think that's a really good story, you'd be right. However, that's not the main plot of the show. The main plot of the show follows a new monster named Tyler Tussman, something like that, and his journey to become a scarer. He's like a top scarer, in addition to become a laugher and try and reach his dreams of working a menial 9-to-5 factory job.
What an aspiration.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now technically in the Monster Universe, the scares were treated like rock stars, so I mean,
that's true, but they're also just power plant workers.
True.
It's like if you had baseball cards for electrical engineers.
He fixed the switch in my bedroom real fast, like 4 seconds flat.
Get your autograph. But the problem is that the Mike and Sully plot is really good. It's really funny, and it's kind of the sequel we always wanted but never got. However, that's the B plot to the Tussman stuff, which to me isn't that interesting, because he becomes part of the facilities team because he's not a good laugher. Or I think they're laughers. Yeah, laughers. And so he's working with the weirdos and the freaks that fix the doors and clean the toilets and stuff. And while it's funny and amusing, the Mike and Sully trying to run a company is a much more interesting story, and it's explored pretty in depth the first few episodes, but goes out the window by where we are now in the season, which is episode 9. Sully didn't even appear in the last episode. Mike's only appeared in a couple of short segments.
What?
It's the show is pretty misleading in that it kind of sells you with the Mike and Sully stuff, but it's really not the point of the show. I will say the show looks amazing, and Disney Animation very clearly put all of their effort into this show. It looks great. It looks almost maybe even feature film quality animation. Like it is a beautiful show. The voice acting is fantastic. It feels like Monsters Inc. It's just I wish it's not the story I want to see.
See, I'm only like 2 episodes in. I didn't even realize they were releasing this stuff week to week. I just assumed it was all out.
No, it is week to week.
Well, it's disappointing to learn that the Mike and Sully stuff kind of disappears.
Yeah, I mean, it might come back, but it's clearly not the focus of the show. Maybe Billy Crystal and John Goodman, because they did get them back, just aren't open enough to do an entire season. The cast they give the main cast involves like Henry Winkler and Mindy Kaling, and they're good as always. But I will say I wish it was a Monsters Inc. show.
Kind of what they sold it as.
Because I love Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. might be one of my top 5 Pixar movies. That's why I'm watching the show. I love that movie, and I love Monsters University too. I know a lot of people don't like the movie that much. I love it.
I still haven't seen it actually, but I love the original. I mean, that's like one of my all-time favorite like kids movies, animated movies. Like I love Monsters Inc.
It might have, in my opinion, some of the best characters of any kids animated movie.
It's definitely up there.
Mike and Sully are great leads. Randall's a great villain.
The twist with Waternoose.
Yeah, like good twists with like realistic consequences, right? There's actually an energy crisis going on. It's about them trying to find solutions to it, which is what the show at first explores. So I guess if you have kids, recommended. But if you're a Monsters Inc. fan, I feel like you're going to be let down. You like the first 2, 3, maybe even 4 episodes. By the end, you won't care. It gets cliched and repetitive, even though it looks really good. Big thing to note is that Pixar did not make this; Disney did, and I do think that does have some sort of effect on it.
Yeah, it sounds like it would.
Just because like there's a whole episode, this might be the second one, where there's basically a whole plot that's just the plot of the movie again. Like another kid escapes.
Just did make it.
Like another kid escapes, and Mike and Sully have to take care of it. But this time, Mike's the one that falls for it, not Sully.
Well, at least it's not a live action version of it.
Don't say that into existence. Some exec that's tapped our phone is gonna be like, oh shit.
The mouse on it.
The mouse listens. Anyway, Alex, what do you got?
Well, I watched the 1980 film Ordinary People, which won Best Picture, and I've been curious to watch it because literally, like, to me, 2 of the best films ever made came out that year and didn't win: Raging Bull and Elephant Man. So I've always been curious, like, you know, why did this win? Why did it win all these Oscars? And it was Robert Redford's first film he directed. And it's really about like this son in high school, but really it's about his whole family. His brother died in an accident just before the events of the film. And the son had attempted suicide and wasn't able to cope with it. So it's like about them as a family, you know, months and months after that still. I think it might be like a year, like trying to deal with it and like have their normal lives again, or like deal with depression and like therapy and all these things. And for, you know, that's a topic that's more common in film now, but like, you know, in 1980, not as much, like dealing with depression and therapy in like a very normal way that's not like manipulative, I guess would be the word. You know, it's not like, it feels very authentic, and it feels like a complex examination of the characters and their issues, and it was really great. I really liked it a lot, and this one I think that will probably stick with me for a while. All the performances are great. Donald Sutherland, Mary Tyler Moore, everybody's really good.
You fucker. I literally had this movie at the library. I got this movie from the library. I haven't watched it yet. You had to do this now. You couldn't have waited.
No. Well, I could have said
to actually watch the movie.
Justin for only giving Babe 3 stars, which is a crime against humanity, but
that's true. I mean, I want to watch the movie. Not quite sure how much we're going to talk about because you picked a very heavy subject.
I did. Yeah, you know, I've got to come back strong here with a very me pick here.
I watched clinical depression.
Now I'm depressed.
I gotta stay on brand, you know. Like I said, I can't just do Babe. But yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic film. I highly recommend it. I think it's one that, as time goes, I'll probably keep appreciating even more because it's just gonna live rent free in my head for like 2 months.
Oh, okay, but the important question though, because it won Best Picture against Elephant Man and Raging Bull. Do you think that after seeing the movie finally, do you think that was the right call?
See, I always find that tricky because, like, usually I'm just happy when a great film wins, and like I can see how it won. I think for sure winning best screenplay is dessert. Like, of those, it has the best script. That being said, do I like Elephant Man and Raging Bull more? Yes.
But you could see why this won.
Right. Like, I mean, certainly the script is incredible and like it deals with these issues in such a real way. But like my pick would have probably been Raging Bull.
Okay, interesting.
But like it's certainly a worthy winner. Like it's a great Best Picture winner. Like, can't complain.
Because this is one that's basically been forgotten completely.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, because that it's been so forgotten because it's like you look at the list of winners and it's like, oh, 1980, all these ones came out. Wait, Ordinary People won. What's that? But like, it was so influential. Like, I think films like Good Will Hunting and other ones that have, especially like that heavy center to it of someone going to therapy, like would not exist without this movie. At least not in that fashion. There are a bunch that borrow heavily from it in that regard.
Very interesting, because we see those influential movies all the time that people have forgotten. Stuff like Network, stuff that like clearly inspired people that if you said, no one would know.
Right, and this is definitely one.
Because Ordinary People especially has been dwarfed by Raging Bull. Even though Elephant Man's kind of a little bit forgotten now too.
Yeah, which is really a shame too. Like that, I mean, that's one of the most emotional movies you can watch. But that's also gotten dwarfed by Raging Bull.
And everyone talks about how Mulholland Drive is like David Lynch's best work. I think Elephant Man's a far superior movie.
Oh yeah, I think as well. I like both, but yeah, Elephant Man is just a masterpiece. Like that.
I can't imagine any movie from that year standing up to those two films.
No, yeah, it's pretty much like impossible.
I mean, I have the movie. I'll watch it at some point this week or next week, but
and then
I
you'll
kind of
talk
have to
about
wait.
it on the podcast.
I don't know if I will, because like I don't know. I should, but don't worry. I had to anyway. I mean, I'll maybe talk about it, but hopefully find something new to talk about next week. But speaking of Alex and depression, Justin, why don't you tell us what you watched this week?
Well, I was going to talk about the new show Heels, but there's only 2 episodes, so I'm going to wait a little bit to see how far it goes, because I think it's only an 8-episode series. But I watched the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Far From Home. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, who fucking cares?
Spider-Man 3 Electric Boogaloo with
it's
every...
not Spider-Man 3. Do not call it Spider-Man 3.
with every character from Spider-Man 1 through Amazing Spider-Man 2 in it.
We don't know that. They haven't confirmed it.
No, but going through the trailer, you could kind of find scenes possibly lead to it.
Well, yeah, because you can see totally a bunch of scenes where the visual effects aren't finished.
Well, it's okay. It's not like they finished the script, so.
Like there's a clear shot with the Iron Spider that I totally feel like is supposed to have other characters in that frame.
Yeah. Well, it also looks like he's getting the black suit at some point.
Well, they've confirmed that in toys.
Have they?
Remember, black suit, we'll give that to him, too.
With the toys have confirmed that the black suit is made by Doctor Strange. It comes with magical like stuff that allows him to shoot magic webs.
Why?
Good lord.
Spoiler alert, but
nobody cares.
Okay, before we go, let's make this clear. I don't like the trailer. I'm not looking forward to the movie.
Basically the same for me too.
Alex,
That doesn't even to describe. No, you describe. I want to hear that. You describe my feelings.
well, I can describe your feelings in one sentence. That before we talked to the podcast, you were screaming angry about the movie and about the trailer, and I'm pretty sure you haven't even seen the full trailer yet.
Oh, I can't bear it.
I've never seen you this angry over a trailer, and you haven't even watched it.
Yeah, I've seen enough. Well, I've seen like practically every fucking frame from that trailer posted on social media because no one will shut up. Every single news source is picking apart every single image. Like, I care. And it's like just constantly posting about this stupid trailer. Like, oh, remember the Raimi movies? Oh, remember these people? Oh, give me Rent. It's like, yeah, I know. I liked those movies. Stop like pissing all over them by just like digging them out of their grave and shoving them in this movie, thinking that I'm going to want to see it after like the horseshit they've done to the character the past 2 movies. Like, why would I watch this movie just because you shove in Doc Ock, who's dead?
It had a great arc.
Yeah, he had an arc. Well, the arcs don't matter. Arcs don't matter. It's the Iron Spider, Disney's MCU bullshit. Like, oh, arcs don't matter. Let's bring him back because people want to see him. No, they don't. He's dead.
What's an arc?
But Alex,
he aged. He aged. He should be older.
He is the age. I love that he's the age. He looks so bad.
Like, why? It doesn't make any
so
sense.
smooth.
Silky smooth face. Smooth.
Well, see, I remember. First, I was gonna say is if you came here looking for people to praise the trailer and
came
like
to the wrong
celebrate it,
place.
you're in the wrong fucking podcast.
Oh god, yeah, yeah. It's not just because I'm a Raimi film stan, because I love all three of those films. I love all three of them. The first two certainly more, but it's also like I love the character of Spider-Man. I love the PS4 game. Like I love when they do Spider-Man right. This is not fucking Spider-Man. Like they've just like shit all over the character in these movies. Well, I guess the first one they didn't. It was just like a regular MCU movie. It was, I don't know. Okay, I guess I didn't really like it, but it wasn't bad.
I did really like Homecoming.
The second one was not a Spider-Man movie. That was, I don't know.
I will say the first one I thought was better than either of the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
That's a low bar though.
Yes.
That's like, I guess, I feel like it's on par with the first one. Like, you know, it's a bar that's there if you like take a really like shuffle step instead of like a regular step as you're walking. You might hit it and trip.
The bar was so low we had to dig for it.
But that said, this is contractually, legally. I don't want to hear it from people in the comments. It's in the contract that as of right now, this is Tom Holland's last Spider-Man movie in the MCU. Yep. It's in the deal with Sony. This is his last one. He has one more solo and one more team film, and then the Sony deal is done. It's complete unless they extend it, which I don't think they plan to. He's not going to be in the MCU anymore. And for his final movie, which a trilogy that they've set up, right? They've set up this plot of this trilogy to kind of culminate in this. It's just a setup for Doctor Strange 2.
Well, that's the entire bullshit of all of it. It's like, oh, we revealed his identity to the world in the second movie, and then this is just like a plot device for this movie to set up the next movie of Doctor Strange. It's like, what the hell?
You would reveal the identity of Peter Parker. That ruins the whole fucking character. So now they have, but of course it was just a plot device to get Doctor Strange in here and fucking undo it, because the literally cannot work if people know who he is.
And then the multiverse comes in, and guys, sandstorm and lightning. You know what that means?
Ooh, look, it's I forget what the Goblins
Green
bombs.
Goblin's vague looking bomb.
Yeah, remember Willem Dafoe? Yeah, I do. That was an actual fucking villain with an arc too.
To be fair, I'm still not a fan of Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin costume.
No.
Oh, get the fuck here.
He looks like a Power Ranger villain.
The only thing this movie could do is get rid of the helmet and give him like a face thing.
Or just fucking don't.
Or don't.
You know, I bet you it's gonna be the same costume but CG.
Probably.
The Doc Ock arms are all. I mean, I guess the trailer like literally confirmed that the arms are gonna be CG this time.
Yeah, and they weren't in the original. There's footage of him wearing practical puppet arms
while doing Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, I love that trailer matchup. So put that footage into this trailer. Because I mean, they look bad. Well, clearly the shot of Doc Ock in the trailer. He's supposed to have the arms. They're just not done yet.
They panic release because of the fucking leak.
That's right. It was leaked because there's leaked like unfinished version of it, and they did panic release it.
Yeah. Which then everyone's like, oh, in WandaVision on the calendar there was a heart on August 23rd. Coincidence? I think not. No, it probably was fucking coincidence. Because
who's watched WandaVision enough times to know that?
I only watched it once and I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I watched it once and I'll never.
Like, why would you panic release a trailer? It's a trailer. How much can you really get from it? Oh, Green Goblin. Like, we already knew all that.
And now
actually, didn't. They've been pretty close to your chest with stuff. Because I remember when the rumors came out that this one was going to have a Sinister Six consisting entirely of pre-existing villains. I think the rumor was this Sinister Six was going to be Alfred Molina, Doc Ock, Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, which wasn't confirmed. The only two that were confirmed confirmed were Jamie Foxx, Electro, and Alfred Molina. And the rumored ones were Willem Dafoe, Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman again, Michael Keaton as Vulture, and Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio somehow. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
See, like, the fact that Alfred Molina was back was enough for me to, like, believe the rest. Like, to be like, okay, those numbers are all true. Because, like, if they're going to bring back a character who's fucking dead, then, like, it's all, all bets are off. They're going to bring back all these people and think that that's going to get me in the theater.
I was thinking, how could they afford that?
Disney. Why no? It's Sony's making it.
It's not Sony funding it. Sony's money. It's just Marvel Studios is making it.
Yeah.
But, like, it sounds just terrible. I mean, Jamie Foxx was not a good Electro to begin with. See, I feel like this is something to do because Michael Keaton's in Morbius, right?
Right.
So I wonder if they're making it where he is part of the Sinister Six in this movie and then makes his own one of the other villains or something.
Huh. Right. I think they're trying to, like, rake in all the Spider-Man stuff they want to keep. So when the Disney thing ends, if they're going to go on their own, which it certainly seems like it, like they're going to, have all these what they think are all these pieces there. I mean, it's all fucking shit anyway.
Well, there's already fan theories that Doctor Strange is going to kick Spider-Man out of the MCU verse back into Venom's verse or whatever.
Oh God,
that would be the final slap in the face to the character if he literally gets yeeted out of their cinematic universe. Like, that literally shows they just used him to fucking jerk off Iron Man for a couple extra movies, and then now set up Doctor Strange just like, okay, we're fucking done with you. Get the fuck out.
I mean, we still don't know for sure if Maguire and Garfield are back.
I have a strong suspicion that they're not, and it's gonna piss fans off.
Yeah, because Garfield said no. He's been asked several times, and he's always said no.
I think he's lying.
Holland has said no, and he's a horrible liar.
Willem Dafoe revealed he was in it because someone asked him, "Are you in the movie?" And his response was, "I'm in a bunch of movies. I'll talk about them when they come out." So, like, yeah, you're in it. Yeah, he's in it. Shit.
I think they're doing all. I think all the rumor shit is probably true, and, like, I don't care.
Well, the rumors I heard was that they were going to be in it, but Maguire wasn't going to get paid enough for his liking, so he walked.
I think they
can see that.
Because he knows that he's going to be the draw for the movie.
Yeah.
Because Sony supposedly wants to basically revitalize the Raimi verse or Raimi movies, if you want to call them.
Like, I mean,
without Raimi.
Again, sure, but yeah, see, without him, like, how stupid do you think I am? Do they think I am? Like, unless he's doing it, like, there's no point. I don't just want, like, oh, remember this character. It's like, no, if he continues the story he was doing, I would probably watch that, but I'm fine with it sitting where it is because, like, it ended well enough that, like, it's kind of complete. So, like,
they're just playing on nostalgia. Classic Disney.
And it's working.
That's the unfortunate part.
Fucking working. People are obsessed with this trailer. It's not even a good trailer. It's just a bunch of nostalgia bait and unfinished VFX.
And taking all their hype away from Shang-Chi.
Okay, that's fun. That's true. Holy shit, that is funny.
Yeah, like they released the trailer because of this, and it's a week right before Shang-Chi comes out. Shang-Chi's
getting bombed super hard. It's gonna flop.
It's getting good reviews, and it's like they've, like, abandoned it.
Yeah, it's getting good reviews, but they know it's gonna fail because no one cares. Like, nobody cares. China doesn't even care, and it's made for them.
Yeah, even China said no.
Yeah, Marvel's
the whole nostalgia bait. It's shit. Like, all this Raimi stuff. Like, they're freaking out about seeing the Green Goblin bomb, whatever. Like, all this stupid stuff. Like, oh, remember this? Like, why don't you just go and watch the fucking movies again? If you want to see the fucking Raimi movies, why don't you watch the Raimi movies?
But Alex, a shared universe. All the Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's all hell. They can spend some time with fucking Iron Spider.
We've technically already seen Tobey Maguire Spider-Man because I believe Jake Johnson's Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse is supposed to be Tobey Maguire's.
Yeah, they make the reference to, like, don't they even use, like, audio clips from those? Like, I remember something specific that
was for Chris Pines, I think.
Yes, yeah, I think in that movie they kill the Raimi versus Spider-Man, right?
No, Jake Johnson's was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then they say Tobey Maguire, I think, for the live action stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's a chance they could get him for those, and so they just made him vague old Spider-Man when I believe he was supposed to be Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, I think either way, I think it's definitely like connected or like supposed to be like a version of that. Which I mean that movie I enjoyed because it was actually well done Spider-Man, and he was actually Spider-Man, and I actually cared about the character. I'm not as high on it as everybody else. It's certainly not the best Spider-Man movie ever made, but it's a really good movie.
I like it.
Like if you think it's better than Spider-Man 2, meet me in the parking lot.
No, Spider-Man 2 is probably the best Spider-Man movie.
I'd say by far.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, I love the first one, but 2 is like at another level.
2 has one of the greatest villain arcs of any movie ever.
Yeah.
And the hero, like the whole Parker arc, like it actually like looks at what it would be like to have to be a superhero. Like, and he has like other things he wants to do in his life, and that's like such a crucial part of Peter Parker that like none of the other ones even remotely understand.
Or tackle.
Or even attempted to.
Oh, he's on a school trip and has to quick be Spider-Man, and that's it. It's like, okay, how does this affect like his goals in life, his relationships? Like,
Well, yeah,
it doesn't.
he has no consequences for missing it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you were gone. They play for a fucking joke.
It's just, the hot guy who wasn't snapped now might get MJ.
And yeah, and in Spider-Man 2, it's like this is literally ruining his life.
Anyway, we've talked about nostalgia and how bad it is, but now we're gonna continue. Now we're gonna move on by talking about more nostalgia. I'm talking about old video games that we kind of grew up with. And I want to start with a very simple question because this will determine our answers, right? What consoles did you grow up on? Because I was Game Boy Advance and PS2 mainly.
I was PS2, Game Boy, and GameCube.
I did have a DS too, I should have said.
Yeah, mine was PS2. That was my like main console. I did also do a lot of PC, like strategy games, that kind of thing, and I did have Game Boy. Eventually, like PSP for a hot minute, but it was mostly Game Boy.
Remember the PSP?
Oh, I remember.
Oh, what was that?
that's-
What was the one with the Nintendo one where you had like the gun and had like Duck Hunter or whatever? Because I had that. My family had that, but we didn't have a lot.
You mean the OG Nintendo NES?
Maybe.
That had Duck Hunt, so it'd be the NES.
Yeah, that was also
Yeah.
friends. I had friends with a GameCube just to play Smash Bros and shit like that, or like.
Yeah, I had that as well. And we only had like Mario and Duck Hunter and stuff like that.
I mean, PS2, I think every kid had.
It's like the best generation of games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like to me, I like some of it's, I'm sure there's nostalgia factor, but like legit as far as like ones I've seen and like the quality of the games that came out on it, like PS2 is like the best console I've had for its time.
It probably has the greatest game library of any game console ever. Nintendo fans would disagree.
Don't want to play those games.
Yeah, but you look at PS2 era games: Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, God of War, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3,
Grand Theft Auto,
Grand Theft Auto,
Ratchet
just
and Clank.
amazing, Ratchet and Clank, amazing games. There's so many, and there was that Wild West time period where you could go to GameStop with like $15 and leave with like 8 PS2 games. Most were shit, but you could get a ton.
Now you walk
I
into
bought
a
so much
GameStop
garbage
with
doing that.
$15 and you barely walk out with a sticker.
GameStop
You walk out with a pop figure.
Games, they don't even have those anymore either. Like they've completely fallen apart.
Well, actually, now they're selling like graphics cards and stuff.
Yeah, but I miss the days of
Stop.
I miss the days of going in there and leaving with a handful of shitty PS2 shovelware.
I'm obligated to say I like GameStop.
Or because of the stock.
Yep.
Moon.
As a shareholder.
But like that's how I got some weird games. Like that's how I got Destroy All Humans 1 and 2.
Such a good game.
Those are so good. It's also how I got this weird rated T Tom and Jerry game
Oh.
that I thought was fake because I was like 10. I'm like, rated T Tom and Jerry, what the hell? This can't be real. It is, and it's awful. It is god awful.
Well, that's how I got, like, I don't remember, but a Bugs Bunny game.
Oh, which one? 'Cause I probably played it.
I don't remember, but I remember it was very 3D. It's been so long, I don't remember what it was called.
Was it on PS2?
Yeah.
Was it Acme Arsenal?
Maybe.
Cause Lost in Time was PS1 and PC. I own that one. Was it Back in Action?
No, it wasn't that. I know that.
That game is weird. Let's see here. Yeah, the only Looney Tunes PS2 games are Space Race, Back in Action, and Acme Arsenal.
That was probably the Acme Arsenal.
That's the one where they go through time and stuff.
That sounds about right.
And they have like guns. It's really bizarre. It's a bizarre game because it's like Looney Tunes, Ratchet and Clank, and they made them like really like mean looking and stuff. I remember being super hyped for it, and then it came out. The PS2 version is actually quite fun. The Wii version is damn near unplayable. No, it is unplayable. It's broken. It doesn't work. So I said I did have a Wii too, and God, that was a dark era of games.
Oh yeah, that's when I started with a PS3, and then later, because early PS3, there were some good exclusives, but like all my friends had Xbox, so then I switched and got a 360.
Yeah, because I went from Wii to PS3 because the Wii had like nothing but Nintendo games, and the only like when it got third party like Acme Arsenal, it was full of broken motion controls that didn't work.
Yeah, and honestly, like that's like when they completely changed their strategy. It was like GameCube had like great graphics and like it had all the third party games and shit, and then like the Wii is when they shifted that strategy to like sole focus on first party.
Yeah, and it sold a lot, but no, it sold a lot. Like they made a lot of money, but it caused a lot of ill will with fans. Fans like me that like Nintendo games but hated their console strategy.
Yeah, I still
remember
like, these games are fun. Like I can't justify buying that console. Mm-hmm. Like I still feel that way.
You can. It was only $100.
Oh, that's true. That one eventually became easy to justify, but like now, like I can't justify getting a Switch.
Yeah, I only had one because my wife had one before we got married, and I've been playing it. And the Switch is great, but like if I didn't have her, I still don't know if I could justify buying it. Even with all the games I'd play, it still just seems so nichey to me. And I remember being burned with the Wii.
Yeah, I remember when I got my PS2. I remember my first game. I can't remember how many, but I do remember what they were. Okay, so I got my PS2. It came with Madden 2003. Good game.
Back when Madden was good.
Addiction started. That's like eventually helped me get into football. There was the first Spider-Man movie game, not the legendary second one, which is amazing, but the first one, which was a pretty solid game. Jango Fett Bounty Hunter.
Oh, that's a good one.
Slaps. Oh man. I think those were like the initial ones I got with that's what I had with the console, and then before too long I started, getting various other games. Like I think the next year Star Wars Battlefront came out, the first one, so I got that.
See, the games I got for Christmas, and Jak and Daxter 1 and Gran Turismo 3 came with the console. And then for my parents, they also bought me Wallace and Gromit and the Curse of the Were-Rabbit, which was actually great. That game was actually awesome. It was way too hard for me, but it was actually a lot of fun. And from other people that same day for Christmas, I got the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which is an amazing game, and Shrek 2.
Shrek 2 is a good game, too.
Yeah, Shrek 2 is a great game. Shrek 2 is an awesome game.
I think I started out with some snowboarding game. Don't quite remember that one. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, dude, I did too.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, and I believe Madden. I don't remember which one, but one of the early aughts ones.
The other game I had that I forgot was Tony Hawk's Underground.
Oh yeah, that was a good
awesome.
one.
Yeah, because I remember that's one of the, like, when I got it, I was like playing at friends and stuff, and I wouldn't shut up about, I was playing Tony Hawk like over at friends and stuff, and then that's when I got the console. Because before that, I just played games on PC and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, the console, the PS2 era was the era when like everyone would be like, "Did you play this game? Did you play that game?"
Yeah.
Like everyone.
The volume of games coming out. Like now we have.
It was the Wild West.
But like the volume of games coming out on disc was like huge.
Well, I always remember getting sent in the mail. They used to send out like the demo disc or whatever, which had a couple games on it that you could try.
That's how there are a bunch of like games that I probably never would have played without the demo disc like series. Like that's how I first played Hitman. The Hitman games, is they had had one for one of them, and then like I ended up playing all of them.
I mean, it's not a PS2 game, but during the PS3 era, you could download them from the store. That's how I got the Batman Arkham Asylum game.
I was like, oh, it's like a Batman license game. It's probably not going to be good, but I'll play the demo. And I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. It was like,
I am Batman.
I wanted that game to be that good. And then like everybody played the demo, and it was like, what the fuck?
I didn't play the demo because I didn't have internet, but I saw other people play it, and like that because I wasn't really a Batman fan when I got it. I think I saw Dark Knight and was kind of getting into Batman, but then I played that game. I was like, holy shit! Because that was my first PS3 games. I had it for PC and it barely ran, and I got it for PS3 because I got PS3 for my birthday because my parents wanted Blu-ray. That was the only reason why is they wanted Blu-ray, so they got PS3, and I got Batman Arkham Asylum. Actually, no, I bought that at Best Buy that day, but I got from them a very underrated game in my opinion. One that like formed my teen years, and not a lot of people played, but those that do will always freak out when you bring it up. Just got remade. You should play if you haven't, and that's the Ghostbusters game.
Oh yeah,
2008, 2009. That game was fucking awesome.
I mean, that's the third movie. That game is fantastic.
Yeah, it basically is the third movie. It's so satisfying.
Does it actually it follows the same characters?
Yeah, it's written by Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, cool.
Like, have you not played that, Justin?
No, I have not.
Oh my god, you have to.
Yeah, you'll love it.
I think it's on PS4 now.
Yeah, I saw they put it out like remastered.
Yeah. You need to play that. The story is amazing. Really, I mean, and the gameplay is pretty fun too.
Yeah, I enjoy playing it. Like even when I switched over to Xbox, I bought it again because I'm like, well, I still want to play it. Because
I never played it, but from what I heard, the multiplayer was really good.
I never got to. By the time I switched, like I think the multiplayer was kind of dead, and like PS3, I didn't know anybody who had it, so like I didn't get to use online very much unless I wanted to be yelled at by random people.
Well, because not a lot of people played that game, but those that did loved it. It was one of the because I've played like all versions of it. I've played the HD version. I played the Wii version, which was a completely different game. Followed the same story, but had completely different graphics, completely different gameplay, and it was still really good. And then I played the DS version, which is total shit. Well, like most handheld parts, it was garbage.
Yeah, I remember.
Go ahead.
When I got my PS3, the games that came with it was another Madden. It was Madden. Was it? Oh, yeah, it was 07, which the PS2 version of that is like literally my favorite Madden, and the PS3 version of that was dog shit. But it came with the first Uncharted.
That it has not aged well, but at the time,
sick. That was like by far my favorite of the launch games, and I can't remember what else it came with because this was like early PS3. It was the fat one. I can't remember what other. Oh, I got Oblivion because I had, and that was huge for me. Oblivion was huge for me. I still love that game, and I got that on like every console. So I have it on like 3 consoles. Like people own Skyrim now. That's how I had Oblivion, and then later on Fallout 3. It's like I own it on like every console I can.
See, like me, I always entered a series of games in the second game, which is usually always the best one. Like I played Jack 2 and then Uncharted 2, so it was kind of like when I go back to the first one to play, you're like, oh, this is kind of not the same and not as good.
I do like how chill Jack 1 is compared to Jack 2.
Yeah, it's like completely different.
Jack 2 is like super hardcore shooting. Jack 1 is like
running around, having fun, just your buddy turned into a lemur. We gotta change it back.
And then you play the fish mini game and it gives you a heart attack because it's stupid fish.
Crash Bandicoot.
I haven't really played those, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I played the second one, which was I think a PS1 game, but backwards compatibility. Remember when Sony did that? Yeah, so I had that for I bought that and played it on PS2. Just like I later, after I played Metal Gear Solid 3, that's when I get into that series and it was like, holy shit. Right right away went back and got the first two, and one was on PS.
I played more of the Spiral games.
Oh yeah, I played the shit out of those two. Which is the one where like this is the one I played constantly and like beat multiple times, but the one where you're in like the castle. That's like the world hub, and then you go into the different areas, but it's like in like a castle. You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't play Spider.
I don't quite remember. Maybe the second one?
Google machine. Do you remember who the villain was?
Way when I see it.
Do you remember who the villain was?
No. Yeah, it was Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. Yep.
Okay.
I played that game all the time.
Something so simple as a talking dragon just running around headbutting things. So much fun.
Well, look who made it. Freaking Insomniac.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of the games from this era, they're made by good developers, and then the IPs got sold and then ran through the mud by a bunch of random garbage.
Yeah. Oh.
That's what happened to Crash in the Spyro.
Anyone play the PS1 Spider-Man game where it's like basically the city's covered in a deadly gas?
Yeah, so you can't go in it. Yeah, and it was also on N64, right?
I think so.
I think, but yeah, I played the PS1. That was a good game too. Like I remember that a lot. And yeah, eventually you like face Venom and shit. I remember that.
Yeah. Last opponent is Carnage mixed with Doc Ock, I believe.
Yeah, that was a good game.
See, the Spider-Man game the only Spider-Man game I played before Spider-Man PS4 was Spider-Man Friend or Foe, which is not a good game. No, not Friend or Foe. Web of Shadows.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah, because I mean, after Spider-Man 2 was so amazing, the movie was too, but the game, like I played I tried to play all the ones I could after that, and it was like, yeah, these aren't very good.
I mean, I really like Shattered Dimensions. That one was really fun for me.
I would just always go back to 2 because I mean the world and the pizza music and
my balloon.
Oh no, having to get those kids balloons all the time. Oh my god, that was a fantastic game though. And they didn't recapture that until the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new one's really good, but like there's something just nostalgic and comforting about old school PS2 games.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. There's just something comforting about them, and like the style and just like the bare bonesness of them.
Well, because the graphics weren't great, but you had to make a very good story. So I think that kind of helped out.
Yeah, like I don't know how much we've been so concerned with like graphics or like visual things, lighting, all this stuff. Like on 360 PS3 era took it above a little bit, but like as far as gameplay mechanics have not like with certain types of games have not evolved that much. Like certainly with like first person shooters have probably changed the most, but like if you play a platforming game, it's literally the same. Or like third person games, it's been refined a little bit, especially with like cover mechanics and like certain things, but like a lot of those you can go back and play very easily still.
Like now it seems to be to me that they're taking freedom and using that as a replacement for gameplay.
Yeah.
Of like, you have an open world, cool, but what can I do?
And how well can I travel the world?
And the worlds are usually dead empty. That's my issue. Is like here's an open world. There's nothing to do in it, but it's open.
Here you go.
Have fun.
No load time.
We made up some bullshit story reason as to why there's no people on the streets.
We've also kind of gotten away from all like the crazy worlds, like the Spirals or Jack and Dexter. Now it's
just
all
original IPs in general just have kind of gone away.
Yeah, a lot of stuff feels very samey. Like, why did I just see? I just saw the trailer for like they're rebooting Saints Row, and it's like, okay, we have like all the check boxes of a modern franchise open world reboot. I'm like, okay.
Or the big announcement that has everyone lose their mind is a remaster or a remake.
Yeah.
A game like Crash Bandicoot or Spyro.
Like to me that does show like a failing in like modern game design, that we're more excited for an old game that's literally the same, just bumped up resolution and like new graphics. And like I get why people get that excited about it. Like you can always pull out the old console, or like if you have the game on PC, like you're just gonna have a higher resolution and it'll run. Like I have Skyrim on PC, and like I can't really get mods anymore because it's the old one, and then there'll be the new one, and then there's going to be the new one, and that's where everybody's going to make updated mods for it. And it's like, but the game looks the fucking same.
I mean,
Well,
I get some of them. Like I get the Mass Effect one of giving people who haven't got who didn't get the opportunity to play all 3 games that opportunity, or the DLC thing. I get that, or something like Crash Bandicoot or Spyro, which were full ground up remakes.
Yeah, and like Resident Evil 2 is that's a completely new game. Like that game was very old. But like some of the 360 era ones, it doesn't make sense.
Like I get those stuff like the Uncharted one, even though I own Uncharted for PS4. It's just the same games.
Yeah. What we need...
Because you're going from HD to HD.
Right.
Just a little finer HD. What I would really is a new Bond game.
Are they? Completely...
Yeah, the Hitman guys are making one.
That could be sick. I'm like, those have an interesting history. It's been so up and down. Like, there's been some trash Bond games, and then there's like, I mean, obviously GoldenEye is literally like one of the best games ever made. And then I also really liked, what was it, Nightfire on PS2, and then Everything
Nightfall,
or Nothing.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
I had that one.
PS2 is literally like...
Well, I think it is Nightfire because I haven't played that one.
Bond thing other than GoldenEye.
The only Bond game I've played, I think, is Blood Diamond.
That's an okay.
You're right. It's Nightfire.
I think it's on PS3. I think it was called Blood Diamond.
Yeah, I know it's that was a Craig one that was like an original plot.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember.
Decent.
I think I rented it at one point. It was a decent game.
I did rent it too. That's how I played it. Is I rented
And
it.
I kind of liked the Quantum of Solace one solely because I really liked the movies at the time, and it's like, oh, this is like it's the scenes from the movies, so like.
Well, I think
same as like the Brosnan era games were like fucking better than the Brosnan era movies.
Well, I think Bond games are kind of just an example of how licensed games as a whole went. You had this weird era in the PS2 era where licensed games were like a renaissance, where they were like really ambitious.
Like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars Battlefront, even shit like Shrek 2, SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Bottom, like that stuff. Like these weirdly ambitious games that were really good, had a lot of effort put into them. And the PS3 era was when we got to, in my opinion, I mean, yes, there were tons of garbage licensed games, but PS3 there seemed to be almost all garbage licensed games except for like Batman Arkham and maybe Ghostbusters.
Yeah, to the point where it's like they're like almost dead. There's only like a few, you know.
But now we're at a point where prestige developers are making licensed games again. We're getting the new Bond from Hitman people. Bethesda's doing Indiana Jones, Insomniac Spider-Man. Like we're getting less of them, but we're getting higher quality, minus Avengers. But even then, we're back with the announcement of the Midnight Suns game. We're getting back to like the weird era of licensed games where they would take risks. Like I have no idea what the Midnight Suns game is about, but I'm interested.
I was going to ask you about that because it seemed like they were going off comic, maybe, I thought.
At first I was upset. Well, Midnight Suns is a team. It's a supernatural team, which usually consists of Doctor Strange, Blade, Ghost Rider, and a couple others. This team is like them, but also like Iron Man, Captain America, and Captain Marvel for some reason. So I'm not quite sure. Because when I first saw the trailer, I was like, is this some more Avengers shit? Is this some more Square Enix like games as a service shit, like Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers and that kind of stuff? And then I saw at the end that 2K was making it, and I was like, wait, hold up, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I watched the trailer. I thought it looked interesting. I didn't know enough about the team or what the story would be. I just know what the game's supposed to be. I mean, it has the Midnight Suns plus Wolverine and Captain America and Iron Man, so I'm not quite sure what it is. I've heard, which I think this pissed people off, I've heard it's a strategy game like XCOM.
That could be good though.
It could be good, but that's not what people want though.
I don't know. It kind of looked like it was going to be a fighting game almost.
I think it's probably good. I think if 2K is making it, I think it's for sure an XCOM clone because that's what the rumor was. Which, if it is an XCOM clone though, imagine a Marvel game with permadeath.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. That would be sick. Like if you know you lose Captain America, he's like literally dead. Like you just saw some alien rip his head off. But I think the only concern is that I still have not seen anyone do XCOM style game well other than the people that do XCOM. Well, I don't know what it is, but like nobody else can do it right.
It does say that it is a tactical role-playing game developed by Firaxis Games, who Who made the XCOM games?
Yeah. Okay. So then it'll probably be fucking good.
Yeah. It's me Marvel XCOM. I don't know if I want a Marvel XCOM.
Oh, I might actually play that.
Especially one that looks as hardcore as this one does. I'm just glad they're making games with like Wolverine and stuff again. That has me happy.
Well, they bought the property now, so we're like, oh, we could throw this stuff in there now.
I mean, Square Enix's Marvel universe is a failure. Like, let's just be clear on that. It's a disaster. Avengers is garbage. Guardians of the Galaxy has no hype behind it, even though it's actually the game people want Avengers to be.
Yeah, they
it's
already.
Gonna be. Let's see. It's here. Midnight Suns is based on the 1990s comic book series Rise of the Midnight Suns, which started the collaboration of Avengers with various other Marvel comic heroes, such as various Ghost Riders, but will not be an exact retelling of the events of that series. The Avengers and other supernatural characters team up with new superhero The Hunter to stop Hydra, who has awakened Lilith, mother of all demons. The Hunter is Lilith's child and the only one to be able to kill her. The game will include 13 different heroes, including the Hunter. So that could be interesting. At least it's something different, right?
Holy crap, that Guardians of the Galaxy game's supposed to come out in October.
Yeah, and no one cares. See, because I remember Marvel games being badass. I remember the X-Men Legends RPGs and how great those were.
Did you play the X-Men 2 game that had literally nothing to do with the movie?
No, but I always wanted to. I just can never find a copy of it. The one where
Sick. Yeah,
the one where Mark Hamill's Wolverine, right?
Yeah, that was a really good game.
But speaking of Wolverine games, the M version of X-Men Origins of Wolverine.
Oh, that was so good. I mean, that movie was trash, and that game was fantastic.
I wouldn't say it's fantastic. It did get kind of boring after a while.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I never finished it. I got like some of the way through the game like 2 or 3 times.
The only X-Men game I played was like the PS1 game, where it was like a Street Fighter one.
Oh, I never had it, but I've actually played that one.
But it's kind of based off, I think it was kind of based off the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play any fighting games with X-Men. No, there is. Nope, you're right. There is. It's not based off the animated series, but it's the Capcom ones. Those actually are really good. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was awesome.
No, there is one that was, I think there was one that was literally just the X-Men.
There is, but it's from those developers. It's called Children of the Atom.
Oh. Okay, yeah, Mutant Academy. Oh, I played that.
That was it.
Yep.
Mutant Academy. So that one's not the animated series, and that's a different one. I almost played Mutant Academy 2, but I've not played Mutant Academy 1. I mean, X-Men Legends was fucking awesome. So was Ultimate Alliance. Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 were super fun games. I actually plan on replaying those really soon. Because those got me into Marvel. Like, honestly, I've gotten into so many different franchises just by renting a random game on a Friday night to play over a weekend.
From Blockbuster?
Yes, or Mr. Movies.
Yeah, mine was, so I had Blockbuster Hollywood Video, and then eventually, like not until like PS3 360 days, Family Video. But for me, it was Blockbuster and Hollywood Video.
Blockbuster was basically how I got into Battlefront 2, because they had the PlayStation out and you could play the Battlefront 2 game right there in the store, and I was playing it.
That was the first game I ever pre-ordered was Battlefront 2.
Well, that's because Battlefront 2 is that game. I remember in high school, if you went into a group of dudes and just said the word Star Wars Battlefront 2, you'd start a 45-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Like that game is still talked about. It's still played. It's still loved.
I literally played it like, I don't know, I think I reinstalled it like a year ago because I got it on PC now, so like it runs really well and stuff, and I'll just randomly feel like playing it sometimes.
It's so smooth.
Obviously.
Like it's so smooth. It's so smooth on PC. I've seen it play on PC. It's great. PS2 multiplayers, the frame rate needs some help.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. Like that, it's on Steam. It's like, oh, I can play it. You know, a potato could play it at 60. Like your phone could probably play it at 60.
But it was so at the time, it was just so epic. Like I remember there being just nothing else like it.
Yeah, the battles felt massive, and yeah, it's like your favorite Star Wars locations and all of it in both eras, and like
Battlefront 1 is kind of broken.
Yeah.
Oh, when the heroes show up, it's a broken disaster. It was funny how broken they are, because if you hear Darth Vader, you're like legitimately crying
because he lost.
Yeah.
Game over, man.
That's because for some reason the heroes will always hunt you down no matter where you were, and
Like
just
fucking-
ruin your day, just ruin your whole entire day.
But I will say the one, like I love one. That's why I pre-ordered too. But like I think it was like the levels in one are like even better than like the maps in two.
One had great maps. Cloud City with the murder hallway.
Yeah, the long ass hallway. So many games have like since then like tried to do that same kind of thing.
Well, then you also had you could get up. There was a way you could get up top by taking a fighter, and then all of a sudden you just get to snipe everybody in the murder hallway.
Or just take the fighter and just decimate the murder hallway.
And I remember there's the Tatooine one with the Sarlacc.
Yep.
And there was the Gungan bubble shields.
Yep. No, the boob with the shield.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing too is like Battlefront 2 especially. So if you just look at the sheer amount of content in that game, I mean, holy crap.
Well, I mean, you got just regular gameplay. You could play as heroes only, play as Wookiees or Jawas. Story.
Conquest.
The story mode was great.
And now like the modern day Battlefront 1 and 2 have like a third of that content.
It's honestly pathetic they don't have a modern Galactic Conquest. Like that mode was huge, and the how much you could expand on it. But of course, that would require basically building a game around that, and that's too much effort and not enough microtransactions.
Well, I remember when the first Battlefront came out. No, so I should say first. The first new Battlefront came out, and people were like, "Well, you see, there's not enough content compared to the PS2 games because it's harder to make games." Okay, but it's also really easy to not rip me off. like the first Battlefront game that EA made was just pathetic.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I mean, I get it from what I've heard. It was Disney's fault. Disney rushed them, so a lot of what DICE wanted to do, like including a campaign, a bunch of other stuff, just wouldn't be ready because they wanted it out in time for, I think, Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't going to be ready for Force Awakens, and so we got half a game. But EA, being the greedy people they are, decided to charge you $50 for the other half.
You know what was fun? After I saw Force Awakens, it's like what they want you to do. Oh, I'm going to buy the new Battlefront now, but I had already played it and didn't like it. And so I downloaded a mod for Battlefront 2 that added the new era and new maps into Battlefront 2. And so I just played the old Battlefront 2 for like a month.
I know so many people that were like me, saw the trailer for EA's first Battlefront, went ballistic, and then played that free beta for like 3 hours and went, yeah, I'm not buying this.
Yeah.
I mean, I eventually got it because that game with the full content and like fully complete was actually pretty good. But they want you to pay $110 for that.
I was so bad at first because actually before the second EA one came out, I like went back and played that one for a bit, and I'm like, wow, like there's actually stuff I can do now, and like there's a few things, so I kind of enjoy playing it again. But at launch, because I played it for probably like 5 hours at launch, and then not again, it was bad.
Because there's no content. There was no content.
Most games nowadays pay to win.
Yeah.
Well, Battlefront 2, but EA had content. It was just locked behind paywalls, which made everyone more mad.
Pride accomplishment.
Yep, the feeling of pride accomplishment from wasting 40 hours to unlock Darth Vader in a Star Wars game. Like, how dare they? Like, and I think for sure it was Disney's fault, but I'm still glad that Disney took away the exclusivity.
Yeah.
Because now I'm curious what we're going to get. Even though I did like Fallen Order, it's just that my PS4 can't really run Fallen Order.
Yeah, you've got to try it when like you get like the next console or some. Like, I love Fallen Order.
It's just not a smooth experience for me.
Right, yeah, on the base console, it's going to like piss itself because those things are, rough.
But OG Star Wars games, I played the good ones and the bad ones. I played Battlefronts. I also played like OG ones like TIE Fighter and X-Wing on PC, which are awesome.
Pod racing.
Pod racing is great.
I played the strategy one, Empire at War, which was a little complicated. Like,
I own that one, but my family's computer couldn't run it.
Yeah, I remember. I might jump into that again because it's a little. I want to say complicated, but honestly, maybe a little convoluted because like I was playing complicated strategy games and fine. It was just that one I couldn't crack. Like I played so much Age of Empires 2. Oh my god, I still play it.
I still need to play because I played it when it came out, but I need to play the new Republic Commando remaster or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that game. Yeah, I played that a lot.
The PS2 version of the episode 3 was great too.
Oh, that's a good one.
I thought I was like the only person who played that game. I love that
I played that. That game was fun as hell.
What was awesome is they also had like they had cutscenes from the movie too.
Yeah.
What game was not fun as hell? The original Star Wars: The Clone Wars game.
Oh, it sucked.
That game sucks. That game is broken as fuck. But I still play that Star Wars.
Lego Star Wars is great too.
I was just saying, I think we're forgetting like the big Star Wars game, and that's Lego Star Wars.
Oh, that way. I mean, it's the fact that it's still big now is a testament to how good those games are. But like when that first one came out, everyone was like all over it. And I remember the two. I remember too, like because it was the original trilogy, and you could like make your own character, and like there was all this stuff. Like I remember the hype for it, and I like hunted down a demo disc just to get a little taste of it.
And I'm pretty sure everyone who owned a Wii owned the complete Saga game.
Yeah, that was just like a layup. Like the fact that they released one that was both. It was like that game is so packed with stuff.
It's great. Like and it's so much fun on the Wii. It's aged phenomenally well.
Yeah, that's another one of those because it's like more platforming and stuff. Like those really don't age to me.
Well,
like
it aged well, except for the worst platforming segment of any video game I've ever played because the fucking camera, and that's in Dagobah, and you have to jump from these two mushrooms up to a ledge.
Oh, see, the one I was gonna say is when
and
you're.
The AI's just broken. The AI just doesn't help you. You're supposed to help you, it just doesn't.
Yeah, that one was always difficult.
The one that gets me is the one that takes place in episode 2 when they're speeding through the city and like the speeders and chasing Sam Wessel or whatever her name is, and
Samwise Gamgee.
And you're like in the speeders because the camera for the speeders, if you're playing with somebody else, is completely messed up. Because like if you play that level co-op, good luck.
See, I loved all the OG Lego games. Lego Star Wars, Lego Batman, Lego Indiana Jones. Those were all like super fun games and very charming. Lego Star Wars was the GOAT of that era, but they're all pretty great.
Mm.
I also, now getting real nostalgic, my parents were also one of those people that got me all the educational learning company PC games.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up with Reader Rabbit,
Yep.
which is awesome. I remember that very fondly. I never had Putt Putt or Pajama Sam.
There was one. I don't remember.
I didn't have Blue's Clues. I had Blue's Clues and I had Sesame Street. And the Sesame Street games were actually pretty fantastic. There's one that sucked, but there were a couple of like game shows hosted by Guy Smiley, and those made me laugh. Like I loved those games because Oscar just yelled at you.
I had this one. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like it was like a fly that was you either went to a farm or I also had like an airport one.
You were a fly?
Well, like not a fly, but like I don't remember. There was one of the main characters that walked you through it was like a fly or something. Or it was stupid. I can't remember it.
Was it one of the jumpstart games?
No, I don't think so.
We'll find this game, Justin.
Did anybody else play Tonka Construction?
Yes,
I did not. I did play
And Tonka Workshop.
I
had those.
Yes, with the board, like it had the whole like board, and you had the tools, and it like hooked up to the computer. I remember that.
I had one with the board, but it was for Bernie.
Yeah.
When I was like 4.
Tonka Search and I remember this game. These are like the only ones I had were like the Tonka ones, and then I was like playing some game or like some like D-Day game shit or whatever. I had Tonka for a little bit, and then like I had some school one that I'm literally never gonna remember this, but I remember like you could cook alphabet soup and shit, and like
that had to be Jumpstart.
It could have been.
It had to be Jumpstart because I played Jumpstart a lot.
Very long. Let me see. See, I don't know if these don't look familiar. I don't know, man.
Did anyone else have Power Wheels Off-Road Adventure?
Let me see.
I don't think so.
That game was fun as hell. You can make your own Power Wheels track.
I didn't. There was some Hot Wheels game I played, but I didn't own it. It was at my friend's house.
Because my parents. Ooh, I can finally talk about this game, actually. So my parents bought me a couple sets of like kid PC games. I got Nicktoons Racing from that, which is garbage. And I got a cat dog game, which was surprisingly good. But the one I remember the most, Alex, I've talked about this because it's one of those things where it's like, I thought I imagined it for the longest time. But it's called Pink Panther Passport to Peril. This is the most bizarre video game I have ever played, where it's a point-and-click adventure game where you learn about geography as the Pink Panther going on a mission to like run like a summer camp. For like all like the world leaders' children, though. So there's all these different children of like powerful people around the world are at this summer camp, Camp Chiliwawa. I don't know why the hell I remember that off the top of my head, but I do. So Pink Panther has to go around the world and make these kids happy. But I'm gonna spoil this game no one's going to play. The end plot terrified me because it's revealed that this character called the Dog Father is replacing the kids with robots.
What?
And at one point, Pink Panther walks into this camp and just finds severed robot parts everywhere of like children.
Oh my goodness!
If I sent you the image of it, Alex. I think at one point. I can send it to you guys again. We're not Joe Rogan, so I can't have it be punched up for everyone to see. But look up Pink Panther Passport to Peril, and you will not be disappointed by the sheer nightmare that was this game.
Okay.
It was also go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
It was also weirdly enough a musical. It had a bunch of musical numbers that are way better than they have any right to be. Like they are like super over the top, like full scale Hollywood, like Disney-esque Hollywood numbers. It's just a bizarre game that I think probably the people online that have played it, but like I was a huge Pink Panther fan, and I've watched the shorts, and I have no idea what a talking Pink Panther going as a spy has anything to do with those. But I'm gonna send you guys the image right now, so you guys can see this nightmare of Pink Panther with severed robot kids. I was like 8, like what the hell am I playing? But did you guys also have like library time where you would play random educational games?
Yeah.
Like
Jumpstart, yeah. I was just looking them up. I had like the first grade one, which was fun because you're like putting on a play and you have to get costumes and shit.
Jumpstart third grade. That game slaps.
Let me see which one. Maybe. All right, Jumpstart third grade. I'm trying to find the game I'm thinking of.
That's all right. I figured out my game that I was.
Third grade was one where you're in this giant dome.
I don't know if I had these.
Well, I played them at school.
Yeah, I never. Yeah, Steve, we didn't do it at school. It would have been at home.
We also had Oregon Trail, and like I remember one time these two guys were almost going to beat it, and we all like grouped around them and watched them play Oregon Trail.
Well, yeah.
Because they were going to be Oregon Trail.
That game.
I was too stupid for it.
Because this was way later. This is when I was like early high school, but someone made a game which is still like on Steam and stuff called Oregon Trail, and it's like Oregon Trail but a zombie apocalypse.
I have seen that game. I haven't played it, but I've seen it.
Well, I figured out what my game was called with the fly. I was right, it was a fly, but they were basically like, let's explore the airport with Buzzy. And I had, apparently looks like there's only 3, but I had the farm one and the airport one.
I've never heard of these games, but I think these are the people that made like Putt Putt and Pajama Sam, and the one with the car. What was the car kid game?
I don't know.
Car kid game.
No, Fish. I think of the Fish. The car one's Putt Putt. Humongous Entertainment.
Lord Humongous.
It was not Lord Humongous.
Dude, this Tonka Workshop one is just living rent free in my head right now. I'm like looking this up.
Those were fun too.
Yeah, I had the one. Oh, the what is this?
Freddy Fish. That's the one. Freddy Fish. Sorry, continue.
It had all these with the weird peripherals and stuff, and then like I moved on quickly. Oh, well, oh wow. Oh yeah. The Digs and Rigs one. This is coming back. Oh wow. These are things I haven't thought about in a long time.
Definitely had the Raceway one, I think.
Tonka PC game. Did I ever even see this? I also had the Elmo game with the phone, but I couldn't get the phone to work.
Does Elmo call you?
Yes, Elmo does call you.
What was it? Oh, okay. So then, like, eventually I got into these games called Beachhead, which was just like you defending a beach attack. And this is like when I got into shooting games.
My dad got me into those with like toy soldiers and stuff.
Oh, I loved those. Oh, I played all of those games. Which was the one, the Toys from Space one, where they get invaded by aliens? I played that all the time. What is that game? Toy Soldier Space. Which one is it? Army Men Toys in Space. Yep, great game. I don't know why.
Probably not. You would not play it now. It's probably not.
Probably not. But you know what? The first one is a legit good game.
We can be.
Space probably isn't good anymore, but the first Army Men game is like actually a good game.
We can still be stupid kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's good and not defend myself by playing it again. I'm just gonna assume that it's a masterpiece.
Okay, now let's end this with one final question. If there was one definitive game of your childhood, what is it?
Wow.
If you could only pick one game from your childhood, like your most like favorite nostalgia game, what would it be? I know what mine is, and I'll go right away because I heard the silence. What do you guys think? But to me, like I had a bunch I played that we haven't even talked about. I played a ton, like the Billy and Mandy game. If you guys remember that show, the Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I had that game, which was like a fighting game. That was great. I played that all the time. But Looney Tunes Space Race, I probably have the most hours in of any game I've ever played. That maybe Kingdom Hearts 2. I did like Kingdom Hearts 2, mostly for the Disney, not the anime shit. But Looney Tunes Space Race, it's a good Mario Kart clone. It's like Mario Kart mixed with F-Zero. Is Looney Tunes on like space jet skis, running around attacking each other, and it's awesome. I could probably be the world champion of that game if there was one. Like I'm confident I could play anyone in the world and beat probably 99% of them at that game. I played that game way too much, but I loved it. It was super rare. I was really into Looney Tunes, as we've discussed in the podcast. It's a great game. They somehow got Looney Tunes style into racing, and people when they came over, that's the game they wanted to play. So it wasn't just me forcing it on them. It was a really fun game that no one's heard of, but probably is like the game of my childhood. Has anybody else thought of a pick?
I mean, mine's we kind of already talked about it, but the one I spent the most time playing was Battlefront 2. I mean, whenever friends came over, that was pretty much what we played. But I mean, the Jack series was a lot of fun though too. I played Jack 3 a lot. I really loved that game. That one was a lot of fun.
I didn't get into Jack, but I got into Sly Cooper, and Sly Cooper 2 is a masterpiece. But I got into Jack when I was older, and they're really good.
Yeah, I mean, you guys both basically said 2, so I'm going to cheat and say 2 because I don't know. So, 1, the Return of the King video game. I don't even know how much time I put in. Like, I literally maxed every character. Because, like, you get, like, the movesets and stuff, and you unlock new abilities and combos and stuff as you replay the levels. So, yeah, I literally maxed every character. It was also, like, shared screen co-op, so people would come over, we'd play. Like, I know those levels by heart still. Like, I could pick up that game and know where to go. So that I play constantly. And Mercenaries on the PS2. That game, I also like 100% did, got 100% in that and like played it constantly. I'll still sometimes revisit that one. Yeah, so I think those 2 were like biggest ones probably.
Mercenaries I missed out on, but I did play Mercenaries 2, which isn't nearly as good, but has maybe the greatest marketing song for any game with "Oh No You Didn't."
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, 2 was fun. 2's not nearly as good, but it was still a really good game. And I mean, you could nuke places, so that was fun. But the first one, like, just that level of destruction, like, no game had that. And, like, as someone who would have to stick over to friends and play GTA, nice alternative. And, like, the whole, like, hunting down these, like, high value targets and, like, the deck of cards was, like, a good mechanic.
And there were so many good games in our childhood.
Especially from the era, we even talk about, like, King Kong, the movie, the game.
I didn't mention Godfather game either, which is literally that's what led to me watching the film and like finally being allowed to watch it, and that's like literally my favorite film. So
I didn't talk about Simpsons Hit and Run. I didn't talk about Nightmare Before for Christmas, Oogie's Revenge.
There was
like bizarre game.
I mean, I didn't own this game, but my cousin did. But how it was really stupid. It was like How the Grinch Stole Christmas game based off the Jim Carrey movie.
I played that.
That game is just Bugs Bunny lost in time. It's just reused assets.
Well,
so it is. Watch gameplay side by side. It's the
No,
same game.
I believe you.
Yeah, it's just this is the only one I played.
Yeah, Lost in Time's good. My dad had to play it for me because I was too young and stupid to play it.
I mean, there's just so many. There was a lot of licensed, stupid games out there then. I mean,
Yeah.
Some great.
some not.
Some gave me nightmares, like the Elmo and Gretchen game. But so many from our childhood that are so much fun. I feel like kids these days aren't getting the game childhood we had, because they're all playing Fortnite or Five Nights at Freddy's or some other garbage. They're all playing the same thing.
Or Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft's a good game, but it's kind of funny that it's like people are still playing that, and it's like, yeah, I played that in like
Kids are obsessed with it. Kids are obsessed with that game still. Like it like consumes them.
I've never even played Minecraft.
I've never played it too. I've never played a second of it.
Honestly, it's worth it's worth.
It's an online game. I live in the sticks.
You can play offline. That's an offline.
Who wants to play without friends? Who wants to play Minecraft by themselves?
You can go exploring and like find the caves, and it's fun. It's like that was like the OG survival game.
Yeah. I like or mini games like SpongeBob Lights Camera Pants or Muppets Party Cruise, which is kind of shit, but with Muppets. So I play it way more than I probably should have. Or I want story shit. I had to make my parents feel good for spending the money to rent the game. I rented way more games than I actually bought.
Same.
Yeah,
Which you can't do now.
Did you guys take advantage of that summer when Blockbuster let you exchange a rental over that period of 7 days? So it was like you basically got a 7-day coupon to rent as many things as you wanted.
Yep.
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 I basically played every video game that came out in 2009.
We took advantage of that, and I went ballistic. I went nuts.
Like I would every day. I would like I beat one, come back, get a new one.
Because that's when you buy all the short, quick garbage and just burn through it.
Like the Wanted game, which I probably have some fucking world record in. I was really good at that game. That's like the game I'm best at that no one will ever care. But I was really good at that game.
God, if only we could get it to work. That'd be a super fun Twitch stream to do. Is have us play each other at these old random ass games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you could get a hold of a copy of that game. It's probably dirt cheap.
Yeah, we can't probably stream it though, which is the issue.
That's true.
Because I would love to do some sort of Twitch stream. We all play shit, but like it needs to be something worthwhile, right? It needs to be something like random or stupid or ridiculous.
Ooh, it is. Oh.
Because those are the best ones to stream together.
And it's got to hit you in that nostalgia feel.
Well, let us know in the comments if there's a game you want to see us stream, and we'll take.
Oh, it's on Steam. Just enough. I should add this shit to my wish list.
Okay, well, we'll let Alex go add games to his wish list. We've been talking for enough time, so we're gonna wrap this one up. Let us know what your nostalgia games are. Let us know if you've played any of the random garbage that we've mentioned from our childhoods, and let us know what you thought of it. Pink Panther Passport to Peril fans, help me out. Spread the word. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Idiot Block. You can find us on Spotify, Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get a notification every time we drop a new episode. Also, follow us on Facebook and Letterbox. The links are in the description.